you believe it's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and
Hello. Welcome to the Flesh and Blood podcast. I'm Siobhan. And with me, even though they're not full screen and they should be, there they are, look. There you go. See, it's put Brian beneath me again. It's not right. Hello, Brian. Hello, Eddie. Wearing the correct millinery. Other side, love. Other side. That way. That's better. Well done. Yes. Good.
It's my left, not your left.
Oh, I forgot to get the Muppet out. I was going to bring Daffy out. I threatened that last night. Anyway, yes. So, how have you been, boys? All right?
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, it's been okay. It's
been a very
kind of
restful
standard
day.
week now.
What about the week?
Yeah, we don't talk about this week.
Yeah. We're going to.
Okay.
Yeah. We were discussing this before the show. And, well, this podcast basically stands firmly behind the protesters. Black lives do matter. You see, this is the bizarre thing. I come from Jersey. For those that don't know, it's a little island off the coast of France. And I grew up, it was incredibly rare that I saw a black person. To the point, when the Brian Byrne stuff was happening on BBC Four and whatever, one of the tracks was "Why No Black People in Jersey." Now you'd think, and obviously, for example, if someone I knew might have seen somebody, they might actually even point them out, you know. And so you'd think growing up, especially in the 70s, with the various things on television, Jim Davison, Love Thy Neighbour, etc. Though in Love Thy Neighbour's only defence that I can think of, and I wouldn't want to, but it did sort of prove the equality point that both of the men were as stupid as each other.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd have grown up racist, quite frankly, and I'm not. I don't understand racism. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's bizarre, quite frankly. But then again, I don't really understand countries. I just think, they're artificial borders created by man to, we're all on this one planet. And so watching the things this week and seeing the things this week, well, we've all seen the video footage, the police in America, and a couple over here in London, especially today. But certainly in America, the police are out of control. They feel like now's their big moment. And we've seen video after video after video of police attacking peaceful protesters who were ironically protesting police brutality. Yeah, but it is a hopeful time, because I think, and I'm probably wrong, but I think this is probably the biggest anti-racist movement globally. Well, certainly there's been for one hell of a long time. And because it's ongoing and getting bigger, there's a chance, just a chance, some things might change. For example, one of the states' police, one of the states has decided to defund their police force of the riot gear and all that sort of stuff. There's a chance here to actually lay those first foundations to actually try and make the change. There's a chance here. The first thing is the voices have got to be loud, they've got to be constant, they've got to be clear, and they have to be peaceful. but it must be ongoing. It can't be just because it drops out of the news cycle, people lose interest. This is life for so many people, and it's down to everyone to help make that change, quite frankly. Okay, I've said my bit. Eddie, you said something very interesting about one of the Glaswegian football clubs.
Yeah, so it's a Glaswegian football club, supporters club. Yeah, I'm not going to advertise them because that's a different subtopic.
Plus, it's football.
altogether,
We don't
which I
do football here, love.
No,
No.
I never have.
No.
But their form of protest during all this is they're going through famous Glasgow street names. So Ingram Street, Buchanan Street, all these streets that have got hints or touches to or named after dignitaries who've got touch points with racism. The guys are going up on ladders and replacing them with street signs like Rosa Parkway, Richard Knight. So they're basically taking down, well, not taking down because they can't, but they're covering up or putting beside these famous landmarks, famous names from the basically civil rights protesters throughout history. And fair play to them. For me, that's just a really powerful and simplistic and social distancing way to actually protest during this and actually show that Black Lives Matter. So hats off to them.
Fair dues, good hat.
Don't go with the football nonsense, but in terms of their mechanism for protesting through this, I thought.
Thank you. You've given me an excellent segue to Brian here. You see, by mentioning football and changing street names, you see, I can say to Brian, what we actually mean, of course, Brian, is soccer.
Soccer.
No, I get
soccer.
Yeah,
and I've got to admit, no
No
matter what the
sports
Celtic fans have been doing, or whoever it is, painting in massive yellow letters the words Black Lives Matter right outside the White House.
It's truly stunning. You can see that from the air. I've seen aerial photography of that. Perfect. It's beautiful.
It's the location as well.
Yeah.
Because the Commander-in-Chief, or your Commander-in-Chief, God bless you, Brian.
Is a scumbag racist.
He's a scumbag racist, and he keeps doubling down and doubling down. It's a great day for America. George would be looking down and he'd be proud. He'd be saying, what a great day it is.
Needs to never mention George Floyd again.
He's a psychopath.
He is.
Hello there. I've got some news for you, Brig Lover. And we'll get to it in a second. Remind me.
Yes, he is, Brig. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Trouble is, he's enabled so many people. Just by being who he is and the position he holds, they now feel emboldened. It interests me to notice that when they had the lockdown protests, where he was turning up with armed rifles and this, that, and the other, the police just stood there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway, I think we've made our points, haven't we? Unless you want to... Sorry, Brian, you didn't get a chance to really say anything. Do you want...
No, it's okay. I'm shell-shocked by everything's going on.
It's your country, isn't it?
I've heard that there's a video out there with over 350 acts of police brutality this week.
Jesus Christ.
Alone. And I mean, nationwide, but still, this week, police brutality and people protesting police brutality. You don't have to be a freaking genius to see we have a problem.
We have a problem here as well. It's not just America.
It starts and ends with us.
It started with us, mate. And I can say that quite personally because of De Carteret, a Jersey man who was one of the instigators of the slave trade. They're discussing, I don't know if there is actually a statue of him in Jersey, but they're discussing getting rid of it. However, it won't happen because Jersey is Daily Mail. Anyway,
things need to change, and it needs to start.
Be the change, basically. Ooh, look at that! trite little 3-word slogan. There's a cat clawing the back of my chair. Guys, we're going to cheer things up. Come on. We're here for a show. And that's Chestnut, I think. Oh, no, it's Odin. It is Odin. Hello, Odin.
Hello, Odin.
He's coming to sit on my keyboard. Right. As usual, things.
I know of no better way to cheer us up right now than to bring up the Armageddon Factor for Doctor Who.
Oh, we can do better than that. First things first, we've got the news.
The news.
News, first of all.
The news.
No more new series tweet-alongs.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, new series, okay.
New series tweet-alongs.
Okay.
To my knowledge, the classic series tweet-alongs will certainly be continuing towards the end of June. Okay. After that, I've no idea. There's a lovely little piece by Stephen Moffat performed by Matt Lucas and Pearl Mackie up on the Doctor Who Lockdown YouTube channel, which is like it's Nardole and Bill filling each other in on how things are going, and it's lovely. It really is. And Stephen Moffat is now going to burn his Twitter account, apparently. So there's that. What other news is there? I was on a podcast.
Wait, again, he's burning his Twitter account?
Yeah. I remember when he originally tried it. Oh, God. Yes, I've been on another podcast. I've done extracurricular activities. I was on Professor Dave's Ark in Space. Talking... they decided to do Scaru Vision. Because Eurovision was cancelled this year, they decided to get various podcasters to give points to various Doctor Who based pieces of music. I would just like to assure readers of The Flashing Blade, I managed to keep our reputation for professionalism, down perfectly. You needn't worry. I kept our standards right where we have them.
Who was the last podcast? The last podcast that they took their marks from, right? They are the Spotty Boy Swats of podcasting. That was how they did it. Was absolutely amazing. They had clips, sound effects.
The amount of effort they put in.
But Siobhan, you flew the flag for us.
I did.
Well done.
I did. I may have got a little confused because Dave did a typo, and I may have been the only person to swear on this show. It was great fun doing it. It really was. We're going to have to get Dave and Lilibet on here at some stage, I think. I think that's going to have to happen.
The only thing I would say that was more points should have been awarded to Orbital. The Orbital, and it's the clip with Orbital and Matt Smith at one of the Glastonbury.
That's not the best performance.
Doing the Doctor Who theme song.
That's not the best performance.
That's
There's an earlier Glastonbury one that starts off with the clip from beginning of Tomb of the Cybermen in the TARDIS, and that one really kicks it. I've seen several Glastonbury performances of it, in this case, on the one where they originally going to quit the biz, they fucked up the bass note and had to start again. It's fun. That's live. That's what happens. So I can't remember what I was saying. So so that's Professor Dave's Ark in Space, which is a great show, incredibly eclectic. I guarantee you there will be something there for you, and we'll try and get Dave and Lilibet on the show at some stage. Also, there's another podcast coming out I'm on, which is taking a thing from the World Cup of Doctor Who, or the World Cup of the First Doctor, rather, that DWM have been doing. And Luke Harrison from the Minute Doctor Who podcast, as was, myself, the Tin Dog podcast, and Tony Cross, I think. Was it Tony Filer? I can never remember. Basically tried to rate various Doctor Who stories. There's a lot of rating going on at the moment. So that'll be out soon. The first part of it is already out. I'm not on that bit because I thought they were recording on the Tuesday and they weren't. They were recording the Thursday before. Oops. So that's news. And now, as Brian's chomping at the bit. Oh no! Sorry, Brian.
What?
Something else. Something for young Brig Lover here.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Eddie's #1 fan. Right then. Spoke to Nick Briggs. Well, messaged him. We had a little thingy. There's no specific transcripts, per se, for every Big Finish release. A lot of them, however, do come with PDFs of the script. Okay? You're young, trust me. So, I don't know which ones. Human Frontier, that we're going to be looking at in a moment, has the script with it. Some do, some don't. I'm not entirely certain how to tell which. That's the only problem. Perhaps it might be an idea just to mail Big Finish it themselves at their main email address and ask them. But yeah, that's what Nick came back with. So, yeah. And now, from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who... Hang on a second, I've got to go to the library. It's Doctor Who. I do love that piece of music. I'm so sorry, but I do. It's the cello.
I never get tired of it. It's
and the thing is,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
my happy
have
music.
access to that cello anymore. All those choir R's. They were superb. They were beautiful. And it was all done in MIDI. Old school MIDI sound fonts. Those were the days. Anyway. Right. So, the fourth Doctor Who and the first Romana Duratulunda and who's his plucky girl assistant and the second K9, well, they go into Atrios, except they don't quite get there. They land up, well, somewhere in the system, and it's a bit funny, and we've got all 5 pieces of the key to time. Now for the 6th bit. Funny how the Black Guardian hasn't shown up to stop us yet.
Yeah.
So they land on Atrios, which is in the middle. Well, I think it was rather Romana, the Doctor said that the surface was basically really good if you like frying eggs. In the middle of a war with its twin planet, Zeos. Or Zeos. And so into this situation, the Doctor, Romana and K9 arrive. Immediately get arrested, because why wouldn't you? And then the TARDIS is gone, and the Marshal, who's played magnificently by John Woodvine, he's a bit of a nutter. Now, I know the Armageddon tooth and claw. I know the Armageddon Factor really, really well. So I'm going to hand over to Brian and Eddie, because I also discussed it in an episode of The Flash and Blade with Joe. So, boys, this is your show tonight. Do talking. Armageddon Factor, Brian.
I'll hold over to you, Brian, because you obviously a couple of things going for you in this episode.
Yeah, let's leave that out of the... No.
We'll leave that till the end.
No,
because
don't mention it.
That is the climax of this entire...
You are
this
a
entire
pervert.
Thing. I'm just saying, it's the perfect
I feel
placing.
objectified and inadequate.
I can't help that.
I'm sorry if you feel that.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but no, it was a great episode.
Story.
It did the
It's a story made of 6 episodes.
Series.
No, serial.
We're gonna quibble.
You're gonna
about
learn.
This on the day
You're gonna. Don't make me put it up, Brian. Don't make me put it up. It's waiting to be put up. It's up. I'm sorry, Brian. It's up.
I want the tattoo. Give me the tattoo of it. I'm gonna get that on my shoulder. Just Take care of it
I'm
right
handing
there.
it. I'm going to try and hand it down. Try and hand it down. No, it's not working.
Yeah, we should have pre-planned that. Dear.
But yeah, no, it was a great episode. Well, serial, and I liked it a lot. Good characterization. It did become a little, oh, you're the sixth princess of the sixth dynasty of the sixth house of the whatever. Yeah, we could see where that one's going.
I think it was meant to be obvious. To be fair,
it was her destiny,
which is ironic considering the next story. But carry on.
And you had the warmongering general, grand marshal. He was insane, talking to himself in the mirror.
Except
often.
He wasn't. He was talking to the shadow.
Ooh, the shadow. Yeah. What can we say about the shadow?
William Gaunt, I think, was that. I could be wrong. I probably am.
Was that William
Bellowed well?
No, that wasn't William Gaunt. Yes, it wasn't a subtle performance.
No.
But, I mean, he had to make do with half his face covered.
He had to go over the top for the whole evilness. And that's okay, because you're playing off Tom Baker's Doctor.
Well, the six-year-old Eddie found the shadow terrifying to such an extent that I never actually, when it was first broadcast, got to the end. So that's one of the reasons I got the box. That's one of the reasons I got the box set when I was older, so I could actually watch everything all the way through. I was like, little young me was quite scared of Doctor Who, and it was quite. Oh, got to the shadow came on screen. It was like, turn it off. Can't watch it.
You know what pissed me off about it? He took over K9. He took the Doctor's dog. What the hell?
And
I mean, if you want evil, you take the guy's dog. That guy was evil.
K9 was like a safety blanket for young me as well.
Yes.
Don't worry, K9 will sort it out.
K9 will save everyone.
Yep.
Why is he calling him master? What the hell?
You knew the stakes were being raised.
So I've got specific memories of that. That's why I had this. I watched it a bit later when UK Gold showed them on repeat, but it was a big gap, and that was a period where I think for a while, because at that point all I saw was K9 go evil. I stopped watching Doctor Who at that point.
So
it gets worse.
Now I come to the end, and it's time for the denouement.
Yeah. Somebody had actually told me that, don't worry, by the end K9 will be fine, but my parents used it as an excuse so that they didn't have to watch Doctor Who on Saturday afternoons. I was cheated.
That was evil. That's parental evil. I'm impressed. That's evil.
True story.
I will tell you about my mother at some stage if you want real evil. And when Doctor Who. One day I'll tell you. Yes, one day. Characters. Stott.
The characters.
Stott, the Marshal's aide-de-camp. Camp being the operative word.
Oh, I loved him. He was fantastic.
Reminds me, Eddie will get this, Terry Scott. From Terry and June.
Yes. Terry and June.
I mean,
yes,
he played the comedy up a little bit, including the wonderful falling straight over backwards. Legs up in the air job. And Drax.
Unless you get that accent.
The medical doctor, dude.
What about Drax? You enjoy Drax?
Drax,
I love Drax. He knows the doctor's name from school. His nickname.
Yeah, Theta Sigma.
Yeah. Oh, you got your doctorate now.
Drax has been back in Big Finish, played by the boy with the knack. Ray... Oh, what the hell's wrong? Ray Brooks. There you go, Ray Brooks.
So he kept his Cockney accent?
I believe so, yeah. I believe the story's actually called The Trouble with Drax. I could be wrong. It's a fourth Doctor adventure. So I'll see if I can dig it out. But perceived fan wisdom says this is a big letdown. The ending's a letdown. It's not. It's a almost traditional 1970s 6-part end of series runaround. And remember, the inflation was starting to bite by then. The amount of money they had in real terms was actually less than they used to have. And the pinch really started to show the following year, and they still worked wonders. I love the whole of the Key to Time series, or season, or whatever you want to call it. It's smile television, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
It's like a comfy old blanket. It's the Key to Time's great.
Plus, this serial, it had what we'd all been waiting for: Mary Tam and Lala Ward
It's going to get it in.
together in the same serial. We knew it was going to happen. This was it. Perfection.
Hats off.
Remind me to never show you the Vampire Lovers. Right.
I remember Vampire Circus. That was awesome.
Oh, that could be the one.
Vampire Circus, Lala Ward.
Yeah, that is the one. Yeah, that is. Right, now then, we're going to try something a bit different tonight. You see, I'm out of coffee. So I need to go and make another cup of coffee. Yes, I know, podcast that likes a nice cup of tea, but every now and again, decaf coffee. So I'm going to go and make myself a cup of coffee whilst Brian and Eddie discuss Big Finish this time round. Mainly because I forgot to listen to the unit story, and so I've got absolutely nothing to add here. So I'm going to go and make a cup of coffee. I shall mute my microphone, and Brian and Eddie, off you go then, loves.
Okay.
Brian. Brian, we've got the con.
No, hang on a moment. I'm still here. I've seen Alex has tuned in. All right, Lex, mate. I'm sure you could. It would be such a happy ending. Right. I might pop on Bridge Crew later if you're around. I'm going away now to make a cup of coffee. Good luck, boys. That's Neddy in the background. He'll keep.
How do you want to split
We
this
have
then,
control.
Brian?
Oh my God. We're driving the ship.
Power.
Oh, unlimited power. Okay.
Right. Now, you do know she's probably just off screen, just kind of listening in.
Just listening in. Yeah.
With the
seems
big
evil
switch,
and
just to pull it off.
devious.
Yeah, just
See,
to
there
turn
she
us
is
off, just in
with the
case.
cat. She's hearing us.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah, there we go.
We're not
Yeah.
without training wheels yet, folks. God help
Yeah.
us.
Our Bond villainess is just slightly off camera.
Well, I'll let you start, and I'll chime in with my realizations.
Okay, right. Well, I'll take the human frontier then, and you can take the unit one.
Sure.
Right. So the human frontier is a passion project from Nicholas Briggs. So it's a vast story that tells the journey of a troop of interstellar explorers who have enhanced AI, which is actually built into their subconscious. So Millie, so it's quite clever plot takes. They are awoken, or some of the crew is awoken because there's an incursion, and they find themselves at a planet which is supporting life, but not as we know it. And it's quite a complex story. Probably, if I'm perfectly honest, it's a bit for my dumb Glaswegian lack of brain cell me. Probably a little bit too much. It goes back and forward. The origin story is kind of explained in a kind of very. Who's the guy that did the Batman series, Brian? Who's the guy that did the Christopher Nolan? It's very Christopher Nolan.
Chris Nolan. Yeah.
It's very mighty soundscapes, high production value, but I found it hard to follow because it kind of jumps between storylines. It jumps between timelines, but it probably says more than me than it does the actual storytelling itself. But
I couldn't get invested in the characters. I just couldn't. I had problems with that. I was more invested in the elephant, walrus, whale thing with tentacles. I was rooting for that.
That probably says more about us. We're more kind of your monsters
Yeah.
in the clothes. if we're probably the Freddy Freiberger ilk of Star Trek than the season 2
Oh,
Space
we should
98.
stop talking about her. She's back.
Yeah, she's back. So Frontier, Human Frontier. It's really high production value, very well done. Like Brian said, you've got to invest a lot of time and effort in it. This is not an easy listen.
Yeah.
This is something that's going to demand you to put a lot of effort into listening, taking stock. It's not one that you can listen to casually as you're doing your work. It demands your attention.
This
like
is
I said,
2 discs too, or
Yeah.
two tracks or arcs. So
And you've got to
it's a
follow.
bit of time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to follow. Getting there in the end is, again, it's very Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov, that kind of highbrow, very smart sci-fi, and it is smart.
It is
it's
very
just-
smart.
It's just not my cup of tea, and that's not the like the sci-fi that I like. I like my sci-fi to be a little bit more character invested, a little bit more action. And there is action, particularly at the end. But again, I'm not going to spoil that for you. So it's stick with it. It's if you like your sci-fi of the 2001, 2010 ilk, then this is absolutely for you. Unfortunately, not my cup of tea because I don't like to think too much. I like to listen to my stories and not have to kind of try and digest them. I'm thinking that maybe share it with Sean because Sean is a kind of drama. Well, he's not a drama student now. He's actually qualified and he's passed his degree. This is probably a good investiture for him in terms of script writing and doing kind of good invested story. From what I've read, this is a project that Nicholas has been working on for the last 3 years. Sorry, I don't know. Mr. Briggs has been working on for the last 3 years.
It's well done. It's well produced. It's just that something doesn't click, and it's just not everyone's cup of tea.
Am I safe to advertise this review? Am I safe to advertise it? You know, we talk about the human frontier. Please don't listen, Nick.
Yeah, we haven't said. No, it's been entirely, constructive criticism.
Good.
Yeah.
You've been listening to our pilot for the Two Introverts Talking podcast.
No, I thought that was yesterday during the Marvel game.
Oh, you and Adam trying to roleplay together. Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, dear God. That was painful.
Yes, we'll talk about that afterwards. But we've done, well, you've done listening to another Big Finish. It's a freebie. Big Finish Lockdown freebie. It's Unit Silenced. It's modern day Unit.
Modern day Unit versus the Silence.
Forgetful, really.
Got Osgood in it.
Sorry.
They're always trying to find Osgood in it.
Which one? Hello, Sean. Yeah, I know. It looks like he's got some sort of umbilical cord stretch. It looks like an axon's got him. And that's
to be fair, we are getting Eddie ready for upgrading.
Absolutely.
He's chosen to become a Cyberman. It was
only a matter of
it's going to
time.
happen. This is, how we start. See? I've got the white cord. He's got the orange cord. This is where we're going with it.
Resistance is futile.
Oh, no, we can't say that. That's someone else.
Oh! It's the Blackpool
Siobhan has
exhibition
become the
all over
Cyber
again.
Control
Hello.
Master.
So,
You know where this is going, folks.
that helmet actually came in useful for something. Who'd have thought it? Oh, dear.
Elite.
Yes. Okay, so what happens in this thing without giving away too many spoilers because it's free and everyone can have it?
It's Unit versus the Silence.
You said that.
I said it, and I forgot it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So what happens in this?
Never mind.
No, I mean, what's the rough plot without giving away too much?
Unit is fighting the Silence.
Mm-hmm.
Rough plot. Very rough plot. And they keep forgetting they're fighting the Silence.
Silence. As you would.
And they have to make... I love the guy. he made notes all over his desk about the silence. Every time he remembered or saw them, he made a note. So his desk is littered with notes about fighting the silence. And it's all the same note. But they have Osgood, they have Kate. Kate's back. I like that.
And they introduce a little old lady character, and this is where it gets really, really dark. So she is. They've got this spray that they use to try and help people remember, and they use it on her. And the silence have been making her do horrible things, and basically working for them. And she starts to remember. This is very Torchwood more than Doctor Who. It's very dark. It's a good taster, but the reason it's kind of a struggle to actually talk any more in depth about it, because it's part one, because it was kind of like the taster in for the rest of the episode or series or serial, whichever used
an hour long.
Hang on a second. What time is it? I'll tell you. It's. But you enjoyed what you heard, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a good free episode.
Yes. And I'm interested to hear more, because the unit episodes, that's the first I've heard of them, and it's very Torchwood. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, good. That's a recommendation. The unit series. There's two lots of unit series. There's old school unit, sort of. This is before unit got brought back properly in the new series. And Big Finish tried to do something with that. In fact, I think David Tennant might have been in it. I could be wrong. And then there's the new stuff based on the new series unit. Right. Okay. So, stuff that's happening, and it all has indeed happened. First things first, what are we going to do next week? Well, we've finished the Key to Time. Do you fancy some more comfort Doctor Who?
Oh, please.
Sure.
Absolutely.
The
We need
Claws of
comfort
Axos.
in this day and age. 2020 has sucked ass.
The Claws of Axos.
Claws of Axis.
Have you seen the Claws of Axos, Brian?
No, I don't believe I have.
They are sinking into the crust of this planet. This is Comfort Pertwee. So you can find it. It's Pertwee Series 8. Okay.
I'll get on BritBox and pull it up.
Now, everyone knows my views on the Claws of Axos. I bloody adore it. That's why we're doing it. But that's one thing. Now, Big Finish. Now then, I don't know what we're going to do for Big Finish next week. Let's bring up the website. There's stuff that's due this week. No. Up. What?
We have got one called The Curse of the Vulturus, which is the Sixth Doctor with Connie and Flip, which I started to listen to, which was actually pretty good.
Just let me check something.
Hang on. I'm looking at the picture on BritBox for the Claws of Axos.
Mm-hmm. Axos, dear. Axos.
Yeah. What the hell are those people? Gold spray-painted people?
Wait and see. You haven't seen the Eye of Axos yet.
And the bubblegum monster?
Right then. I tell you what we do have. Now, I am hoping... that this... I think Stranded is going to drop, and it might be this week. Okay, but if it doesn't, what we're going to do... You'll enjoy Unit. So we're going to have the complete series. I think it's the box set. I'm not sure. But this is old school Unit. And with Lethbridge Stewart.
It's the
Ooh.
It's the Sergeant. Yeah.
No, we've a bit better than that. Brigadier.
Oh, Benton.
We have Brigadier and is Sergeant Benton in it?
No, love. No.
Oh.
Just no.
He's the only guy who to keep his cool throughout all of Unit's escapades.
Yep.
No.
Unit's Bond. Unit's Bond.
Yes.
He is the spine that holds Unit together.
No, love. Brig. Yes, he is lovely. He did the opening for the extended version of Let's Save Confidential. He was really lovely when he did that. I was interviewing him and he did an extra thing. A brig tattoo. Oh, my word. Now, what
There
would
you
you
go.
have? Shoot the winged fellow with 5 quick bullets. No? Okay. Right. So,
Evil brig. Evil brig with a patch.
Claws of
There you
Axos.
go.
Either Unit, the old stuff with David Tennant and Nicholas Courtney, if this is before David Tennant was the Doctor, or we'll be doing Stranded, the new Paul McGann thing. Yeah, which I'm quite looking forward to. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. It could be quite interesting. So there's
Don't tease
that.
Don't-
And then,
don't tease
you
us.
know what we
We're all
haven't done
Twitter
yet?
over here.
Oh, dear God, you know what we haven't done? The
What?
Prisoner.
We haven't talked about the
We
prisoner.
haven't talked about The Prisoner. I almost forgot. And I
How-
really
how
enjoyed
could we
this one.
not? This was awesome.
Right, so The Prisoner. Fucking, we're just useless.
We are.
We
We're
refer to-
upholding our fine production value.
All the standards. Yep.
It's tradition. Oh, God. So The Prisoner just happens to be passing by the local village hospital. And hears a girl screaming. And because he's a prisoner, he runs in just as she flings herself out of the hospital window and kills. She's dead. The new number 2, played by Patrick Cargill, Father Dear Father, he's a bit cold about it, let's put it this way, and indeed has number 6 brought to the Green Dome to explain these things to him, and he's a bit of a brute. They do indeed, Sean. So this is where number 6 really shows his mettle. He shows his brain. Because in an authority and let's be clear on that. In an authoritarian society, people obey the voice of authority. Now, we discovered that in the last episode. But what if you apply that to number 2? And so the prisoner gets revenge on number 2 by ramping up his paranoia to stupid levels. Brian, what did you make of this?
I loved it. He played number 2 like a harp from hell. Just one pluck.
I can imagine
One
the
other-
7th Doctor running
another
around
string.
doing this.
Oh yeah, this was perfect. I mean, literally all you need for insanity is that little push.
Yeah.
And he went tumbling down. I mean, he made him think he was working for, number 1. He was reviewing the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
He was reporting on number 2. And number 2's like, well, what's he saying? What's going on? Running everything through code breakers. It's fantastic. The level of paranoia he ramps up in this guy,
It's remarkable.
it's astounding.
Again, we're not going to give the ending away. But it's lovely. Shall we go to the expert?
Okay, Sean, where are you?
He's on the chat.
So,
Go on, channel him.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'll try to. Sean really disappoints me because this is an episode that Sean really is critical about and really does not like, which really surprises me. Yeah, it's shocking.
I find
Sean
that
does not like
interesting.
this episode.
I would like to hear
Yes.
the boys' views.
Like the
Oh, no,
OSHA
he's not like
violations
them.
with Windows. I'm just saying.
Oh,
That's a
you
clear
surprised
OSHA
him. You
violation.
surprised him now. Is that what?
No, so this is me channeling my goon number 6 because Sean loves this episode as well. No.
No, yes.
No. Interesting tidbits about this
Please,
one is
yes.
obviously Patrick Cargill is number 2,
Mm-hmm.
but he also plays Thorpe in Many Happy Returns. So they never actually touch on it, but is Thorpe and number 2 in this episode one and the same? Some say yes, some say no. I'm of the opinion he's not. Thorpe in number 2 here is two totally different characters. Unless, of course, Thorpe's buckled under the pressure of being number 2, which a very smart number 6 picks on from the very start. He's number 6 is just at his cold best here.
Yes.
Number 14, who is the one and only ally that 2 thinks he has. They have a game of Koshu, which is the sport that was arranged in it. So for folk that don't watch it, Koshu is a martial art that was invented by number 6, the Patrick McGowan for the series. It's 2 trampolines in between a water tank, and you jump between the trampolines. And you
can jump up onto the sides, can't you?
The side, yeah.
What is the purpose? Is it to get the other person into the water?
Believe so.
Okay.
That's where to get. There is a campaign to get this in the Olympics. It's not worked yet, but it'll get there eventually.
I'd be
We've been trying since 1968.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
You need more trampolines, bigger mat, maybe.
Yeah,
a slight issue.
More water.
2 seconds.
So the other thing around this is so that even in itself is explained. So this is number 6 testing number 14 to see if he can get the better of him. This is a test to see whether or not, if it came to a fight, could he actually win? You back?
I'm back. Yeah, I pulled the headphones out. Trouble is, headphones nowadays come with ridiculously long leads, so you move your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yes, I've noticed your axon tendril. That is an axon tendril. You'll see what I mean.
So even that is a test. This is 6 testing if he can. If 14 is a threat, which he determines he isn't. The last strike for this is that 14 6 takes away everything from 2. He warns them at the start. You're done for. I'm going to finish you off for this. You've killed another innocent. You're responsible for 73's death. And just with subtle little tricks. 6, McGowan says very little in this episode and doesn't need to. It's just little traits, pick of the phone, buying a newspaper and putting things on a crossword, listening to music. He just basically get what. I love this episode. The only critique I have of it was that at the end of it, it shouldn't be McGowan's face coming up the present. It should have been Cargo's, but that's just me nitpicking. This episode is fantastic.
I think my favorite part was the patty cake.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So
it's saying patty cake. Run it through the decryptor.
Just says patty cake.
The hell?
This is 10 episodes in, and 6 becoming accustomed to his surroundings and going to use them to his advantage.
It's actually been interesting doing it and seeing the show develop, and the character, like I've said in previous ones, like the village flexes its muscles to show him who's in charge, and this is him finding his way through the cracks.
Yeah.
Can't tell me number 6 did not enjoy himself driving that guy nuts.
Oh,
yes. Good old Angelo Mosca.
Oh, is that Sean? Yeah, Angelo Mosca is just
yeah.
Says nothing and says a lot just with a look or a subtle putting on a hat or opening a door. Absolute genius.
What's next week?
So Brian, number what? Any theories yet on number 1?
Yes, we haven't got that yet. Yeah.
We're halfway there.
Forgotten to ask.
Everybody keeps saying he's been in the
Who
episode.
is number 1?
I'm inclined to believe you that it's the little butler dude. He's the only one who's stayed around.
Interesting.
He's been in it from the start.
And he's been in every episode, hasn't he?
Every episode. Only you just glimpse him. You don't see what he's doing off camera or out of scene.
Okay.
But he's been everywhere.
Yep.
What's next week?
Stay tuned. Next week, it's your funeral. Not yours personally. It's your funeral's the name of the episode.
Yeah, with a Scots accent, you say that it's scary.
It's 2020. It could be my funeral. Okay, we're just
there's been a murder, and it's your funeral. There you go. How's that?
Fuck me. Is that Mentala? Jesus, thanks for tuning in, love. If that's you, that's really appreciated. Well, no.
Well, do tell
Quite
me.
right. Mental old gaming friend, and I mean, we go back a long way. I've told you the story about the Wookiee and the race in the space race in Star Wars. This is the man who was howling down the down TeamSpeak at us. Yeah.
And he's right, though. Peter Falk should have been a number 2. Peter Falk would have been an excellent
that
number
would have been
2.
great.
I hadn't thought of that.
Excuse me.
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
I love Peter Falk.
Just one more thing.
One more question.
Have you seen the roast? That there's a video of him at the roast of Frank Sinatra, but he comes in character and roasts Frank Sinatra just in character. Gives him a lasagna Mrs. Colombo has baked, and it is brilliant.
Oh, that,
He just
I have
destroys. He
that.
destroys them.
I'm-
He destroys them.
I'm writing that. I'm going to see. I'm looking that one up.
I'm gonna YouTube that one in a little while.
It's so much fun. It really is. Right. So next week. The Claws of Axos, either the original series from Big Finish, or Stranded. It depends if it drops this week or not. So one or the other. And it's your funeral for the prisoner. I'm actually surprised. We managed to keep going for 50 minutes. I didn't think we'd manage to because I was going to do a bit of a quiz, but I'm not going to bother now. 50 minutes in, I think that's a good time for a show, don't you? We've said everything.
Oh, we have to tell them what's happening next week.
Oh, all next week.
Wednesday, we
Yes,
have
I
K9
forgot.
and
I
Company.
know you're quite right. I forgot to talk about the RPG as well, haven't I?
Brian,
Yeah.
stop that, Brian. That is professionalism, and that will not fly on this podcast.
I know. We have the bar set at a certain level. I have to keep.
That's
down.
Yeah,
twice.
mind
you've
you
done
don't
it.
trip.
You've reminded me twice.
Right. Okay. So first of all, the
Christ.
RPG last night that Brian is running. It's on Twitch every Saturday night from 8 p.m. UK time. What have we managed to do? What have we managed to do, Brian?
Screw
Come on,
over
you're the
my
games
plans
master.
entirely.
I did what? Sorry, we did what? What
You screw over my plans entirely.
did we?
Yes.
Oh, that's a terrible thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a progression now. Here's where I wanted the story to go.
Revenge is
Here's
sweet.
where the story's going.
Revenge is sweet. That's all I'm saying. Ah, dear. We
yes,
got
it is.
some information yesterday, but not much.
How many legs do they have?
Fuck off. Right. Okay, so that's every Saturday evening, 8 p.m. UK time. We're also doing the watch-alongs, sort of live in video like this, reactions to various Doctor Who nonsense. That's Wednesday nights at 10:30 p.m. UK time. We appreciate it's a bit late for our Europeans, but Brian has to work, and he's a stinking
sorry,
foul
I'm lame.
American. A degenerate colonist, basically.
Really?
It's true. Degenerate, especially. So this week coming up, we're just about on the solstice. We're nearly halfway through the year. We're looking at summer, boys and girls. So we're going to be watching, by special request of, I can't remember if it was Eddie or Brian, it was Eddie. We're watching K9 and Company. Brian, have you ever seen K9 and Company?
I've heard about it, and I'm going to start pre-gaming now.
Please do not watch it. I want your pure reaction from the start, okay?
It will be gold,
You
Brian.
will
It will be
understand why. I promise you will understand why.
Everybody thinks this is water.
Yeah, you were drunk on the. we had a drinking game on the last one. Yes, they both ran out of alcohol. That was for the TV
Yeah.
movie with its
Oh,
kisses to
yeah.
the past. I'm trying to think up something, a drinking game for you this week. So come prepared. But it's a bit tricky with K9 Company. Plus, it's only 50 minutes long, so you're really gonna have to neck it. We'll have to come up with just some excuse for you. I'll be blunt. That's it. So we'll see you Wednesday 10:30 UK time for the K9 and Company watch along. Saturday at 8 p.m. UK time for the RPG, and next Sunday for the Flash and Blade podcast, which is this nonsense. Nonsense being the operative word. I've got to pull this thing up. Boys, say goodbye to people.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
to people.
Oh, you did that so well. I'm proud of you. Have a lolly.
Oh, nice.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
Noel still loves you.